It started with a tear-stained notebook. Adanna was just 7 the time she changed schools. "Smile, Ada, God is watching, even here," Mama whispered, adjusting the oversized uniform that hung on her daughter like a borrowed promise. Adanna stared down at her feet. "My sandals again, Mama. They are laughing at me." Mama tightened the straps and lifted her chin. "Let them laugh. One day they will remember your name, not your shoes." It wasn't the last time she'd hear that. By the time she reached JSS 3, Adanna had changed schools 5 times. She walked into the cramped sitting room one afternoon, clutching her notebooks. Papa sat, hunched over his small tailoring table, the sharp snap of scissors echoing in the silence. "Papa, again?" she asked, her voice trembling. Papa exhaled deeply. The landlord locked the shop. "This new place is further, but we will manage." Each school brought new classmates, new timetables, and the ache of starting over. She learned how to adjust quickly, to listen more than she spoke, to stay unnoticed. When WAEC registration came, her classmates whispered excitedly in corridors, comparing centers and timetables. Adanna stood outside the gate one morning, her brows knitted. "Madam, they are calling names. Mine's not there." Her mother said nothing. She just gripped her daughter's hand tighter. Adanna's leg buckled. She sat on a broken cement block nearby, watching students file in with laughter and noise. She pulled out a notebook and wrote, "Lord, if you're real, remember me, use my story." A year later, she was seated in the second row of church, legs crossed, pencil in hand, taking sermon notes. Then came the announcement. "We received the scholarship slot for a desirable student," the pastor said. "It's going to be a young girl who's shown resilience despite setbacks. Adanna, please come forward." Her pencil dropped. Her head snapped to Mama, who covered her mouth in shock. "Mama? Me?" Mama smiled through tears. He remembered. Adanna didn't just pass her entrance exams, she excelled. Letters arrived, forms were filled. Mama borrowed money to buy a mattress and a suitcase. On matriculation day, as Adanna paused in front of the university gate, the admissions officer glanced at her phone. "Mass communication?" She beamed. "Yes, sir. First in my family." Freedom came like a breeze. Through a long sealed window, new faces, new spaces, and then came Chiki. Confident, well-dressed, and full of praise. "You have this quiet fire, babe," he would say, handing her shawarma wrapped in foil. "But life isn't always serious. Learn to breathe." He helped with airtime, waited for her after lectures. At first, she felt seen, but soon, his charm began to tighten like a cord. "Why are you laughing with that guy? You're always at drama fellowship. Don't overdo this church thing. You're lucky I'm patient with you." She brushed off the comment until the evening. He yelled at her by the hostel gate. "You think you are too good. You will never be anything without me." The words hit her like a slap. Her vision blurred. That night, she sat in the campus chapel, long after everyone had left. "I messed up," she whispered, "but don't let this be the end of my story." Change didn't come overnight, but it came. She stopped replying his texts, joined the drama group, volunteered for backstage roles, then started writing short skits based on real struggles. "Is that the same girl?" student whispered. "She has changed." Soon, she was invited to share at fellowships. Always honest, never dramatic. She told the truth with trembling courage. By final year, she was no longer defined by a relationship, but by a voice. After graduation, the job applications began. She sent emails from cyber cafes, wasted weeks. Rejection trickled in. One morning, her phone pinged. Another rejection. Adanna stared at the screen and exhaled. "God, what now?" That afternoon, she saw a notice board poster. Volunteer teachers needed in rural community schools. She walked past, then turned back. Her roommate frowned when she heard, "You're going where? For how much?" Adanna smiled. "Nothing, but I want to be useful. Maybe it still counts." The village had red soil and warm-hearted children. The school had no windows, but it had laughter. Adanna taught with chalk in one hand and prayer in her heart. One weekend, a church hosted a youth event in the village. That was when she met Tolu. He wasn't flashy, he didn't talk too much, but when he prayed, it was with quiet fire. I heard your talk on finding purpose in disappointment, he said after the session. It stayed with me. They kept in touch, slowly, intentionally. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? He asked one night. Serving, telling stories, helping young girls. He smiled. Let's build something that lasts. They married after a year after NYSC. Their first year was joy, laughter in tight budget, shared dreams, ministry, and late-night works. Then came the waiting. 1 year, then 2, then 3. Still nothing. The nurse asked after yet another hospital visit. Adanna forced a smile. Not yet. Relatives shifted in their seats at gatherings. Hints became whispers. A distant hand muttered something about trying another woman. One night, Adanna lay in bed silent. Tolu, maybe it's me. Tolu put her close. You are not a mistake. We are in this together. God is still writing. She didn't retreat. She poured out. Started a podcast, Purpose in the Ping. Joined the counseling unit. Mentored girls. Wrote devotionals between tears. One Sunday after service, a woman approached. You said something about waiting and not wasting, she said, holding back tears. I was bitter, but now I'm finding peace. Then came the cold Harmattan morning. Adanna stood in the bathroom, staring at the test kit. Her hand trembled. Tolu? A sleepy voice answered from the room. What's wrong? Come here, now. He entered and froze. 2 pink lines. She couldn't speak. Tolu? Twins. The naming ceremony was packed. Girls she had mentored filled the seats. Women she had cried with white tears of joy. After the event, a teenage girl walked up with a worn notebook. Ma, your podcast saved me. I was going to drop out, but I heard something you said. Purpose doesn't wait for perfection. It begins with surrender. I wrote it down. Adanna knelt, pulled the girl into a hug and whispered, I wrote that in my notebook too a long time ago. She turned to her daughters, asleep in her arms, and smiled through tears. God, you were there in every school, every heartbreak, every silence, even in the waiting.